But have you always been into video editing and the work that you do, or is this something that came up recently, or like, how did this all come about for you?
I mean, Fatboy Productions started. A lot of the people I'm looking at right now probably know what Fatboy Productions is. It was kind of how we got our start. It was Tom Wall, huge part of that, Chris Nicastro, Nick Valencia, all these guys. We just came together with a shared vision, just a comedic outlook on life and things. It has a very unique feel to it. A lot of people call them, very weird, which they are. But from there, man, we just really kept at it for years doing that. It was a blast to do. We made a lot of people laugh. It was interesting seeing people get into it more, wanting to be in the videos. And we had a little bit of a culture, I would say, like towards the end of high school. I mean, we felt a little bit of a purpose behind our videos. People were quoting it with us in the hallways. We were making new friends through it. It was a really cool thing. And from there, it just sprouted. I mean, we met a ton of cool people that joined our crew. True Fiction Pictures started, Seth Prue, Matt Blood, all these guys started joining, providing their perspectives. And it just blossomed into a really nice community, which became the basis of the platform.
Before you started the platform, before we get into that, because I know that'll probably be the basis of this talk and where that's going and stuff, it sounds like there were and still is a couple of sort of production-based, media-based companies. So I think you mentioned Fatboy Productions and Fatboy Prod. Talk a little bit about that. And then there was another one in there that I know you've mentioned, and I think that you're still involved in today. Talk a little bit about, talk a little bit about those two and where they're at. I guess, what the different functions of those are today, and like who's running those and which ones you're involved today before we get into the platform.
Oh, I would absolutely love that. And honestly, I was going to go back to that anyway, because I can't not bring it all back to Fatboy Productions.
That's where it started, baby.
Yeah, man. I mean, you can't forget your roots, dude. I mean,
that's right.
Fatboy Productions really started as like literally just kind of a way to troll the world. I guess it was just, like myself, Tom, and others, we weren't necessarily the coolest kids. We weren't, we didn't really fit in, I would say, So really, Fatboy started providing these strange outlooks on things. If you really go back and watch them, which I encourage some people to go do, I mean, there are some out there videos, right? And that sort of over the years kind of came to fruition. We started applying craftsmanship to our work. It wasn't simply silly videos anymore. We actually started to understand comedic techniques, story structure, all these things, brought it all together, and we made a real first like feature film, kind of, not full feature. It was like 40 minutes. It was called Arthur Bumpus. That was made our freshman year of college. That's when it really kind of came together as a group, like in a professional kind of manner, I would say. So that was really nice. We went from there, made another one, Brookline Brothers. That was 55 minutes long. And all these videos were getting a really solid reaction from things. I mean, Tom Wall has a humor that you just can't find on the street. It's not there. Chris Nicastro's got this like strange, elegant, kind of touch on things like that comes in hot, on that too. And myself, being mostly the technical side of it all, I can reflect these in a type of cohesive manner, I would say, and bring it all together. So the three of us were just kind of like a really great team. We had a bunch of guys get involved. Right now, Fatboy's kind of like, they just released a new video. I wasn't really involved in that because I'm in South Carolina. But I would say Tom and Chris are holding it out in the front of Fatboy right now. The direction of Fatboy is a little bit in the air because we're at that point in life. We're all 22 years old. Things are a little bit up in the air because things are changing a lot. Like I just moved. Careers are coming, COVID. So like Fatboy, we put the stuff out here and there, and it'll remain a constant stream of content. But pretty much this is the point where I would say, all those who haven't seen Fatboy, go back, check out some of that stuff. Brookline Brothers, Arthur Bumpus, ton of other stuff, Come Inside, all these things. They really are some of the most unique film you can find. I mean, I'm not saying it's the best thing in the world, but like you'll find something you haven't seen before, and I can guarantee that.
Okay. Cool, man. That's dope. Yeah, it's great that you it's just interesting. People get their start early, right? And you just do something, you go out there, and it sounds like this is sort of a collaborative effort for y'all, right? Like
100%, 100%.
Multiple of you on the team and sort of putting things together, putting the creative minds together. And that slowly turns into, right, the different brands of comedy. You got your technical expertise that you use and to put things together. And like you said, right now it's up in the air and the vision of that's up in the air, but I'm sure you would attest to the fact that if you hadn't done that, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing now, right?
Not at all, man.
Right? The fact that you started that in high school, you carried that into college, and then, it might be dying out, but, well, now something better is being born.
Yeah, I mean, Fat Boy is never truly dead, but it did give birth to our current film group, True Fiction Pictures. Yeah. True Fiction Pictures is kind of like, I would say, it's a more focused. It's real cinema. We're making a feature film right now that we're actually selling just to a streaming service. A lot of details will come out with that as we get done to finishing the movie. We're in negotiations right now and talks. It's a hell of a process. It's my first time actually doing this too. But True Fiction is a really, really it's professional when it comes down to it. I mean, we think of it as a blend of Quentin Tarantino films, a little bit of Scorsese with the absurdist touch of Fat Boy, all into one. True Fiction really is it's a testament to filmmaking as itself. These are movies. These are epics that you're watching. Right. And if True Fiction wouldn't exist without the groundwork Fat Boy made, and that's why the two of them are so closely linked. And it's really cool to see too, everyone from Fat Boy, Tom Wall, Chris, and all them. They work hand in hand with Matt Blood, Seth Prue, all these guys that work with True Fiction, and it's kind of it's just a really cool working community that sprouted from Fat Boy into True Fiction. Now all these other things, we got Tom's got Slim Thick, Chris is the Sleds. It's really awesome to see how had a foundation that went out. It's pretty dope.
That's awesome, man. I love that. I love the growth off of it. Everyone's got their own things.
Yeah,
the unique names. I love it, man.
We're getting after it. It's just simple. I mean, as simple as that. Yeah. Every single person that came from our circle in the beginning has their own thing right now, and they're still a part of something bigger. And it's just awesome to see. I mean, those guys have a ton of success. Tom Wall and Chris are doing phenomenal. I mean, Seth and Blood are, about to be professional filmmakers. I mean, and make money off doing what they love. So, right. I mean, everything's just worked out great, and I can't, thank the universe enough for being where we're at.
I can't, man. Well, it comes with a lot of hard work and continuing to do it and believe in yourself and go forward, So I'd love to hear that, man. Well, I mean, hey, you're in a position now where hopefully in a couple months you as well will be, monetizing your passion, or at least within the next year is what I'm hearing with the platform media, or is it just the platform?
Well, I mean, you mostly the platform, for instance, the platform media, it's kind of for Instagram, it's how we kind of target, how we market and reach people, so people will know what we are. We are first and foremost a media company, a multimedia, platform. That's what we are. Yeah. So throwing that on the end of our Instagram tag made the most sense for that. But our company is called The Platform.
Nice. So tell me a little bit about this, man. It sounds like this, and I don't want to take words out of your mouth, but it sounds like this, I mean, from what I've seen of it, was born out of a passion to help artists, entrepreneurs, musicians, authors, whoever it is, creatives and creators, and just giving them a platform, right? And somewhere where they could mutually get a page on this, central site, be featured alongside some other up and coming artists, entrepreneurs, musicians, all that stuff. But tell me how this sort of came about, who's a part of this, the platform team, who's putting in work to it, and what's sort of the function, what do y'all do? What's, I guess, the service y'all are offering to your target audience that we just mentioned? And how'd this start for you?
Well, I mean, I'm going to kind of harpen back to my opening statement a little bit when I was talking about pretty much how, things are changing right now. I mean, we're all 22. Life is throwing a curveball with COVID. We're all trying to get jobs spread out. Life's very uncertain, and like I said, I have a lot of sentimental value to doing what I love with the people that I love, and if I want to be successful, but I want Tom Wall to be successful. I want Seth Prue to be successful. I want Kristen Castro, Mike Noon, Matt Blood, all these guys, Jake Flynn, and we do this together. But the harsh reality is that, we do got to split up. We have our own separate visions and things that we're doing. Yeah. And that being said, it's interesting you know, a lot of the things that are invented, you know, are born out of necessity, or because, you know, like it's just the inventor of it. Yeah. The inventor of it just thought it was cool themselves. I mean, think back to Steve Jobs, kind of a cliche example, but like, you know, he simply wanted to make a computer that was easy to use. You know, a personal computer, one that goes in right on your desk, one that is simple, user-friendly, interactive. He thought it was cool, so he made it. So that's kind of how it started, was the fact that we just wanted to stay together. We wanted to keep working together, but do our own things. And that's why we just simply came together and said, hey, man, you know, let's do this. I mean, like, yeah, I guess the idea started, you know, like it came out of my fingers in the beginning. But, you know, this is an idea that all these guys and I talked about. Tom, Nick, Seth, Blood, like all these guys that I keep mentioning. I can't have enough love for these guys. And we pretty much just we just got after it together. We would just hang out in my house pretty much early in the summer, crack some beer, ripped a few darts. I mean, had some fun, and hopped on the computer, and just started just going. And then, you know, the technical side of things, you know, I recently, you know, was hanging out with Jake Flynn a lot. And Jake Flynn is a mastermind in terms of everything that is logistical and technical.
Shout out Bert.
Yeah, yo, shout out to Jake Flynn.
Shout out Bert.
That man is, we would not be where we are without his work and the time he's put in. So pretty much, like, all came together. We just wanted to stay together and keep doing what we love together. And that's how it started. That being said, the tangible sides of how we're going to make money off this, fund all of our own personal companies off this, all these things come from the idea of almost think about it as like a SoundCloud for all media. But I'm struggling to say SoundCloud, because SoundCloud is a little bit of a kind of a joke, I guess you would say, by like nowadays standards. Yeah. It's more of a medium where people can put their stuff easily on their site, make it look cool. You know, like when I see, like, you know, like there's so many Instagram profiles of people for their art pages and all these things, and like it's just Instagram's becoming saturated. You know, like YouTube is becoming very saturated. Producing a video that has a lot of views and everything through solely YouTube is tough nowadays. There's so much competition. You know, what we've done with the platform is trying to give people their own separate space. You know, when you go on the platform and you make a page, that is your page. The success of that page is entirely on you. It belongs to the platform. I do the heavy lifting. Jake Flynn does the heavy lifting. We design the page for you. We do all this stuff. But, you know, it's really what you make of it. And I'm not going to say too much, but a lot of what's to come on the platform is leaning toward the social media side and a more interactive side. I'm going to stay a little bit quiet on that because
the platform's leaning more towards being a social media side, as opposed to featuring people's social media profiles on a platform, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's going to become more
a little more interactive and more. Yeah, okay, gotcha. Friends and stuff like that. Nice, man. That's awesome. Yeah, and I've seen you have. I believe Jake was saying, like, you know, 10 different individuals. I know Jake was gracious enough to make me a page, which is on there. But it seems like it's mainly and correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's just a compilation of different pages, right? So let's say, you know, MI at Professional Speaking has a page. Your business has a page. You know, Fat Boy Productions has a page. Tom's New Business has a page. Jake has a page. Is there anything sort of central? Is there like a central platform homepage? Or additionally, is there any, like, you know, is the platform putting out, you know, its own sort of specific content, or what's that looking like?